Cars is alive and well, even in Part 9.
JoJo's adventure may be bizarre, but Cars won his journey.
Long story short, if you would not like to watch a video that's going to be longer than 1 minute, simply put, Cars turned himself into stone. Stone has been used to grant stands. Cars was the ultimate life form, and he thought, why am I going to spend all of my time fighting heroes when I could just become the power source? I'll be breaking that down really quickly. Now, this hinges on a few things. 1, young Joseph. 2, Dio. And 3, his luck and everything else about it. Simply put, how was young Joseph so lucky during that whole part? Mind you, yes, it could be Helmet Purple, it could just be the insane Joestar Fate bonus. But, I think everyone can agree that young Joseph was the luckiest JoJo. Now, why was he so lucky? Because the whole time he had a certain vampire backing him. One of our other favorite boys, Mr. Dio Brando. But Mr. Evil Green Wizard, why would Dio Brando help a JoJo? Well, my friends, because Dio is a vampire. The Pillamen are the ultimate vampires. And if you look at any piece of vampire lore, a thrall made from a vampire is almost always subservient to the main vampire, at least within a certain distance. As for Sooth, why he never physically showed up once. But now we look at this side. How is their plane ready to go? How did the scientists know exactly where to find Joseph? Why is it that there was a certain well-known evil organization that was so specifically set on one singular goal for this one weird thing, only for them never to look into it ever again? Other than being massively destroyed, of course. It was all Dio's setup, my friend. After part 2 was all said and done, suddenly Dio just magically acquires these arrowheads. Why would he even know about them? Where would they have come from if not from a strange extraterrestrial rock floating out in space that would be far too easy for someone with a grand amount of influence and power to simply say, let me get out a chunk of that ass. So he does it. He acquires it, and he turns it into arrowheads. Something easy, something he can claim as ancient, something he can claim as is never findable again, unless he should need a smidge of more power, and then he's got a nice little entire ore source floating out in space. Now, mind you, here's where Cars comes back. The arrowheads have a will. They find their way to things. And mind you, while I am more than well known with the power of stone, most of them like to stay where they are. That is, unless it is alive enough to have a will. As such, Cars lives on through the arrowheads. And then we think about what exactly happened to all of those arrowheads. Well, out of all the ones that Dio made, he sold almost every single one of them. Excuse me. Being the evil green wizard, I think that was incredibly foolish. Now, you could chalk that up to arrogance. Or you could chalk it up to vampiric influence. Cars said, I'll let you have a little bit of power so I can see what you're going to do with it, but I would like you to send me to anywhere else in the world. So he did. He sold every single arrowhead but one, because all he thought he needed was one. You see the point that I'm getting at here, my friend. And just to wrap this up, because I don't want it to be too terribly long, who was it that supercharged the volcano to send them out into space? Wasn't Joseph. That was Cars. And being the ultimate life form, why would you do that if you didn't have a purpose? He didn't want to be on Earth because he didn't need to be on Earth anymore. He could drop the smallest bit of his body, watch everything play out, all from the safety of space, and have zero issues with anything because everyone thinks he's dead. And all he has to do as the ultimate life form is just wait. Not to mention, stands are him. So, if you were to attempt to use your vampiric stand on him, I doubt it would do a single thing. And even in all of the other twisted realities that come from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the non-canon one from the games, the switching over after Poochie, and even though it's not connected, let me ask you this. Why is it I can walk through a rock formation and get a stand? It used to be that cars had to touch you to get a stand. But now you just walk through an area and you get a stand? Oh, and then let's not even mention how now in part 9, we are fighting literal rock people. If you were the ultimate life form, eventually you're going to get bored alone and start testing out new things. Like, what happens if I give my stone a little bit more will?